That was me sitting in my truck staring through the windshield at a scene my brain refused to accept. The first thing that hit me wasn't the destruction, it was the light. I know my driveway. I know how the shade falls at 5:30 in the afternoon every day, how the dashboard should be cool to the touch, how the sun shouldn't be blinding when I pull up and throw my Ford into park. But that day the sun was just screaming. It was a cold interrogation room kind of white. I sat there a moment longer, hand frozen on the gear shift, squinting and half hoping the afterimage would blink away, that maybe my 10-hour shift had finally short-circuited something behind my eyes. But no, the shade wasn't gone because the sun moved. It was gone because the thing that made the shade a white oak older than the Civil War was missing. And not just missing, erased. The tree, the very reason I'd bought the place, the protected landmark inked right there in my closing documents, wasn't standing proud in my yard anymore. It was just gone. I didn't scream, didn't punch the wheel. Instead, I felt something heavy and cold drop straight through my chest and settle in my gut, like I'd swallowed a damn padlock. I turned off the engine. Even the silence sounded wrong. No rustle, no wind playing through a million leaves, just the dead flat hush of an open field. When I finally stepped out, my boot didn't hit concrete. It hit something softer, dustier. Yellow powder. My whole driveway, usually so clean I could eat off it, blanketed in 2 inches of fresh sawdust. It was everywhere on the truck, the roof, my hydrangeas, hell, even dusting the air itself. Each step sent up a little cloud that stung my nose with this violently sweet, bleeding sap smell. Then I saw the stump. 5 feet wide, jagged and raw, a wound in the world. In the middle, dark heartwood, old as sin, surrounded by lighter rings that mapped out more history than I could fathom. Chainsaw marks everywhere, splinters the size of my arm sticking up like broken ribs. Whoever did this hadn't even tried to be clean. They'd hacked it to pieces. I pressed my palm to the wood, still damp, sticky. That tree had survived more than I ever would: storms, droughts, wars. Could have shaded a soldier coming home from the First World War. And now, while I was stuck moving boxes in a warehouse, someone killed it. My yard was a battlefield, churned up mud where grass had been tire tracks deep as ditches, fence leaning drunk from where a branch crashed down. What the hell? The words just kind of slipped out real quiet. At the door there was something neon orange stuck at eye level. Not a police ticket, not a note from the city. A sticker. Big custom, the HOA's logo up top, Cypress Creek Homeowners Association. I peeled it off, left a sticky smear on my door. Notice of abatement completed. July 14th, 10:30 a.m. Authority Board of Directors. President Brenda H. Violation Section 4.2.2.1. Obstruction of neighborhood aesthetics. Excessive debris. Leaf litter. Failure to maintain curb appeal. Action removal of non-compliant vegetation authorized by Board President. And of course you will be billed for removal services. Invoice to follow. I read it. Again and again. Non-compliant vegetation, that's what they called my white oak. Centerpiece of the block, leaf litter. Brenda H. Her, of course. Brenda, who measured grass height with a ruler from her purse. Brenda, who once fined me $50 because my trash can was visible at 6:05 p.m. when the cutoff was 6. I took a breath, tried to stop my hands from shaking. Not fear, adrenaline. I could have bench pressed the truck. Jack. Voice behind me from the sidewalk. Miller, my neighbor, 72, retired welder, cane in one hand, always out on his porch watching the world. Today he looked like he'd seen a ghost, wouldn't even step onto my property. "Hey Miller," I managed. "Did you see this?" He just shook his head, eyes wide behind thick glasses, finger pointing at the stump. I tried, Jack. Swear to God I tried. Came out as soon as I heard the saws. Some guys in a beat-up flatbed, no logos. Brenda was here, she was directing them. I said, "Brenda, you can't touch that tree, it's Jack's. Been here since before the subdivision." You know what she told me? She said if I didn't go inside, she'd write me up for interfering with HOA business. Claimed she'd done an emergency quorum vote, called it a safety hazard. Safety hazard. The tree was healthy as a horse. I had the arborist check it 2 years ago. Said it'd outlive us all. Miller kept talking, voice going low. She said the leaves were clogging the pool filter. At the HOA pool, 3 blocks away. His eyes rolled. "Jack, they dropped a limb on your fence. Didn't rig it proper." One of them laughed. No permit, no cones, just Brenda with her clipboard. This wasn't just an HOA flexing muscle, this was criminal. I took photos, stickers, stump tire tracks, bent fence, sawdust everywhere. Sent proof to myself, made a mental list, fence repair, sod replacement, but nothing was bringing that tree back. You ever realize in a flash that what you're really fighting isn't just stupidity or carelessness, but entitlement? That was my moment. Brenda had cut down a living monument because leaves. I called 911, told the dispatcher straight, not an emergency, but a felony-level destruction of property. She hesitated, asked if it was a civil dispute. "Ma'am, if someone smashed my truck, you'd send a car." This is worse. She promised to send someone. While waiting, I dug out the HOA bylaws PDF on my phone. Article 5, Section 3. No tree over 6 inches diameter may be removed without an arborist's report and a majority homeowner vote. No meeting, no report. And the appendix, the grandfather clause, native hardwoods on lots 12 through 18 are heritage assets exempt from canopy restrictions. I was lot 14. Brenda hadn't just broken a rule, she'd broken the holy law she swore to enforce. Officer Martinez rolled up. Young looked bored. "You the homeowner? Looks like you had some landscaping done." I didn't even let him finish. Explained everything. The sticker. The evidence. "I want to file a report for criminal trespass and criminal mischief. First degree." He raised his eyebrows. "That's damages over 10 grand. It's just firewood now." "Officer," I said, "that's a Quercus alba, white oak, 150 years old. Replacement value's 50 grand minimum. Add fence sod cleanup. And state law says willful destruction of timber carries treble damages, triple the cost. We're standing in a 6-figure crime scene." That got his attention. Out came the notepad. "You said the HOA president did this." Brenda, I pointed, "is right down the street." Martinez clicked his pen, looked at the stump, then at me. "Let's get the details. And then I think you and I need to pay Brenda a visit." That was the moment I started to feel the tide turn. As I walked back to grab the sticker as receipt, my phone buzzed a doorbell camera alert from the exact time on the sticker. Pulled up the video. There was Brenda on my porch pointing at my tree, barking, "Cut it flush to the ground. I want it gone before he gets home. Mulch the flower beds with the chips, it'll save us money." Her voice, her face, time-stamped high-def confession. "Martinez," I shouted, waving the phone, "I've got the confession right here." He looked at it, then at me, and just nodded. Let's see what Brenda has to say for herself. We walked down the street together. Sun still too bright, the heat now an afterthought. I felt cold, the kind of cold that cracks rocks in the winter. Brenda thought she'd solved a leaf problem. Didn't know she'd just signed the deed to the whole damn clubhouse over to me. Inside the clubhouse, air conditioning blasting, beige sofas everywhere. Brenda at the front desk. Her face did this gymnastics routine, annoyed, then worried, then scared when she saw the officer. "Is there a problem?" she asked. "You trespassed. You destroyed a heritage tree," I said, slapping the sticker down. She tried to play tough, quoting section numbers. Section 4.2, all about grass height and weeds. I called her bluff, laid out the requirements: arborist report, 14-day notice, homeowner vote. She snapped, called it an emergency. Tree was leaning. Danger to kids. I bluffed, said I had video showing it standing straight, Miller watching. She blustered, shrieked about hearsay, tried to have Martinez kick me out. But Martinez, now seeing the scope, told her this was a felony investigation. She laughed. "A felony for a tree. It grows back." "Not in my lifetime," I said. Martinez pressed, "Did she hire a licensed company? No invoice, no insurance, no nothing. I caught her nephew Kyle and some buddies' cash under the table. She got nastier, tried bribery, a basket of pears and cider, and offered to credit my HOA dues. You owe me $254,000, Brenda, not pears." She hissed, mask slipping. "It was just a tree. I did you a favor. You destroyed property. And you admitted it was malicious. No immunity for that. Reserve fund was empty. She'd spent HOA money on furniture, paying herself consulting fees. We had her. The lawsuit landed like a bomb. At the depositions, Brenda crumbled. Under oath, she admitted it all: embezzlement, hiring family, breaking the bylaws. The HOA's insurance company denied the claim. Intentional illegal acts aren't covered. Now the HOA and Brenda herself were on the hook. Wells, my lawyer, was relentless, tracked every dollar, every lie. The judge, an old man who probably hugged trees for fun, didn't even let it go to trial. Willful, malicious, and devoid of any legal authority. Treble damages awarded $255,000. Collecting was another story. The HOA tried to pass a special assessment, nearly $1,000 per household. But Wells had a better idea: execute a levy on the common assets. The clubhouse, the pool, everything not nailed down. At the sheriff's sale, Brenda tried to rally support, but nobody wanted to buy a cursed clubhouse. Opening bid $10,000. Wells bid the judgment. Nobody else spoke. Sold. I now owned the clubhouse, the pool, Brenda's old office. Brenda, slumped and weeping, had 24 hours to clear out. I can, Brenda. Section 4.2, no trespassing. Next day I changed the locks, tossed her nameplate in the trash, sat in her old chair. Looked out the window, saw the gap in the skyline where my oak used to be. It still hurt. Money doesn't bring back 150 years of shade, but it could memorialize it. A chainsaw artist turned the stump into a monument, a giant hand carved from heartwood, holding a gavel poised to strike, aimed right at Brenda's bedroom window. I renamed the clubhouse the Oak Lounge, dissolved the HOA, opened the doors, free membership for every neighbor except anyone who'd ever been president. That first night, the whole block came. Miller toasted me on the patio. You did it, Jack. You beat her. I sipped my beer, sun setting shadow of the gavel stretching all the way to Brenda's driveway. Didn't do it for me, Miller. Did it for the shade. That stump's still there. It's a scar, sure, but it tells the whole story. And every time Brenda peeks out her window, she has to see it. Sitting in her old chair, feet up, I realized, yeah, maybe the property values just went up after all. But here's the thing. What's a neighborhood worth, really, if people in power can just bend the rules, erase history, and call it aesthetic improvement? Is that justice, or just another way for the loudest to get their way? What do you think? Where's the line between order and overreach, between community and control? Drop your story below if you've ever gone toe-to-toe with an HOA or seen justice served in your neighborhood. Let's hear what you think justice looks like and what you'd have done in my shoes.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.